Hi, Simon. Thanks for being here today.
Hi there, good to meet you.
You too. Would you be able to start by just introducing yourself and maybe telling us a bit about the practices and when they converted from NHS?
Okay, Simon Gallier. I've been a dentist for 40 years now. The more recent practices, I have 4 practices in the north of England and North Wales, 3 of which were completely private. And then we bought a completely NHS practice just over 3 years ago, 4 years ago actually. But I had previous experience of converting my own practice many years ago, 30 years ago. I converted a practice from a mixed NHS private practice into completely private, which was very successful at the time. And as I said, run really private practice ever since, and then was offered this NHS practice. And the idea was that we were meant to be slowly converting it from a mixed practice, or mainly NHS, gradually over a period of time into completely private. Mm-hmm. But in the end, just over 18 months ago, we decided to go the whole hog and just convert the whole thing.
Okay. And was losing patients ever a concern for you? And did that ultimately turn out to be the case?
I suppose because of what happened previously 30 years ago, I've been totally comfortable moving from NHS to private. And as a lot of people will say, you actually have to lose some patients because you can't treat that many of them. Mm. But you actually then find out the ones who really want to stay with you, and they're the nicer patients who want to stay with you, and you actually do get rid of the patients that actually don't care about you, and really are actually best going. You almost ought to lose up to a third of your patients. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't necessarily like to say good riddance to them, but I actually do believe the 2/3 that stay are the ones who really appreciate you and are really looking forward to staying with you.
That's really interesting. In general, would you say that now is a good time to convert? And if so, why?
I mean, I would say any time is a good time to convert. I was convinced 30 years ago that you should convert. People are nervous for all sorts of reasons. But in my experience, NHS dentistry has only been going one way in the last 30, 40 years, which is slowly downhill. And it reached a crisis in 2006. It's reached a bigger crisis now. I think there's still people who are still nervous for some reason, but I certainly in my 30 years, I do not know one single dentist that's ever made the conversion from mixed or fully NHS to private that's ever sort of said, oh, I wish I could go back. I so miss the NHS. Not one single dentist. If you think about it, do it properly, you'll never regret it. It's always wonderful.
Great. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm more than happy to speak to anybody who wants to speak to me about it. I've done it once, I've done it twice. All I can say is that you won't regret it if you do it. And really, now's the time to do it, as good a time as any.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your insight.
Pleasure.